Awesome. So, hi guys, welcome back. If you are new to Shoop's webcast series, welcome as a first timer. And for us today, we are going to talk about email marketing tips and tools to drive traffic and sales. This is actually something that we discussed on a smaller scale in one of our previous web series or webcasts about marketing for small businesses. And a lot of people reached out about email marketing specifically, as it's a really easy and attainable way to reach a target audience and really drive traffic and your sales. So we can get started. So my name is Tamara Fuchs. I am Shoop's Growth and People Manager. If you are a returning guest, you know my face by now, but if not, welcome, and welcome to those who are returning. And so I have recently really learned a lot about different platforms and different ways of email marketing and strategy. And it's been a really great way to understand a target audience and the things you can do to really drive that traffic. And of course, how to monitor that traffic. And so this is a recap from our previous webcast. So if you have not seen it, I suggest you check it out. It's Marketing Must-Haves, and it's in that left-hand corner over there. It is rather, I think, about 45 minutes long, but there's a lot of great things chalked information in that. And we've actually just recently posted a week after or so, you've got the top 5 email marketing softwares, in e-commerce for 2021. I actually helped with this article, and it was really interesting to do the research, but email marketing software is a really great way and a really great investment for any business, but a small business in particular, because it has some features and automations that really help you customize and build specific and important aspects to your audience. And additionally, this is a graph that we pulled from HubSpot, and it was in our Marketing Must-Haves webcast. But essentially, this is the model that you want to keep in mind, or that this webcast was really built around, because I think it's a really great model, and it's a very easy to understand model. So essentially, you want to attract your audience. So who is your target market or your audience? Of course, after you've attracted them, let's engage with them and make sure we can get them to actually come and visit our marketplace or our website. So, how can we do that? How can we engage the audience? And of course, once we have them, we want to make sure that they're happy. We want to make sure we're focusing on that delight piece. So how can we monitor customer satisfaction and ensure that every customer that is visiting our marketplace or website is really happy and is going to shop with us? If we take it to our next slide, this is just a slide actually again pulled from Marketing Must-Haves. It's the marketing tips recap. And this, it does talk a little bit about social media, because I do think they do go hand in hand. But email marketing is the way that you're really going to engage with the customers off the bat. It can be a form, used within that delight section to, of course, maybe do a survey on customer satisfaction or things of that nature. But essentially, this is one of the main ways that you're going to engage with your customer. So it's really important to remember that. Additionally, you can advertise within different types of email marketing. And of course, social media, like I said, goes hand in hand. So you could always post that type of advertisement on your social media. And within your email marketing, you may even have a social media banner, which is really cool. Building brand awareness and identity. Again, this is how you're going to engage with your customer. This is, it's a virtual way of doing things, but you're going to end up having that relationship built off of what is really the question. And so with email marketing, the way to do that is to really put your business and your heart of your business into your emails and keep them branded and having that, customer identity, brand identity for the customer. Of course, emails can also, promote discounts and any sales that may be coming up. So coupons and discounts are a great way to drive traffic to your website. And of course, encourage happy customers to share their experiences. So again, like we said, this could be in the delight category, if we wanted to call it that, to say a follow-up of, hey, did you want to leave a review on the product or the service you received? Or, hey, we would love for you to take a customer satisfaction survey. So those things come into play there as well. And of course, in doing all of this, we are attracting our clientele by sending these emails to them. But it does get a little tricky with this, because we want to make sure that we're staying in compliance and not overstepping with that attraction phase of saying, hey, we would like you to, come and shop with us. But if they haven't given us permission to send in these types of emails or marketing materials, it's really, it's not great, which we can actually talk about now. So the main goals, there's so many for email marketing. For myself, when I was putting together this webcast, I do want to say I'm not an expert on email marketing or marketing in general, but I have had a lot of experience with this, and based on the research I've done, this is my opinion of throughout the presentation is my opinion on a lot of these items. So main goals for email marketing, there's 5 that I think kind of take everything and put it all together. The first thing is staying compliant, which I just spoke about. We will go into it a little bit more, but compliancy is really important. Obviously, abiding by the laws and regulations within your country, state, region, etc. is super important for many reasons. But of course, it's gonna, staying in compliant or staying and being compliant is important to build your brand's identity as well. It shows, who you are as a company, that you're authentic and that you can be trusted. And customers will likely want to be with and shop at a company that they can trust, especially if they're putting in, personal information, their emails, sometimes their addresses if they're shopping online. And even sometimes, we put in information like our credit card information, we save it on a website. And so by staying in compliance with email marketing, it's like the first foot to say, hey, we are doing everything we are supposed to do, and we do stay in compliance because we care about you and we care about our customers. The second thing is to include relevant and important content. So this seems to be something that sometimes is overlooked, but it should be an immediate thing for a business to look at and say, okay, well, what do we want to get across with this email? Or what type of campaign do we want to get across with this specific like newsletter, right? And so there's different types of forms of email marketing, which we kind of touched based on. So newsletters are one that can say, hey, every week we want to let you know what's going on with our company. If there's any new products or services or anything of that nature, we want to let you know about it. And of course, there's different ways of saying this and doing it within the newsletter, but you can have articles that maybe show things that you're supporting, or maybe you just say exactly what it is that you're supporting. Maybe your company is going to do some type of charity work and you would love for people to either come and participate with you guys, or just let them know, hey, like this is what we stand for, this is what our team is doing at the moment if you were interested, and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things you can do within a newsletter, but that is one type of content. And then of course, if there's like any sales or promotions, that's a whole different campaign. That's a whole different type of content. And so with every piece of action that you're going to do, or every email that you're going to send, you really want to know what the intent of that email should be, and some of like, the key factors that you want to really pack a punch with in the email. So be branded. That is the way, that's how I think of it. Essentially, you want to be candid, right? So in being yourself and staying true to your brand and just showing that in different ways within an email, it can really go a long way for a customer. That kind of ties back into with compliancy and just having a customer trust you and building that customer relationship. Attracting and engaging a customer is one thing, but having them return as a customer and continue to return is a whole nother. And so by being branded and showing who you are as a brand is super important. And emails and other marketing strategies are a really great way to do that. Including a call to action in every email. This is really important. When you send an email, you should have only one call to action per email, and it should be something very meaningful. So for instance, if you have a goal of attracting adding more people to, or let's say driving traffic to your website for a sale, that's perfect. You would want to include that call to action and say, click here to visit our site, and you would have that link there. You would want to give them a reason to actually visit the site and give them a way, or a portal, let's call it, to do so, right? To click on that link and go. Additionally, if maybe you wanted more of a following on social media, maybe that, you write in your newsletters, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. And then that's also a call to action. You should try to keep your call to actions to a minimum. You don't want to be asking so many things, within an email from a customer, but essentially make it meaningful. And as long as it's meaningful and it makes sense within the content that you're sending, it should be okay. And then finally, review results and adjust as needed. This is super important. And sometimes we get busy as, within our business, but it's really, really important to actually look at the results that you're getting. So if you're sending an email and you feel really great about it, that's amazing. But if you're not getting a click-through rate, or you're sending it to 1,000 people and only 100 people are clicking on it, there's ways to improve, and there's things that need to be adjusted. And so you must kind of look at the emails and think, okay, well, how can I make this better? What can I do to change it? And test different things. I know something really popular that I read about over and over again online was a simple change of just adding a variable that actually connects with the customer's name. So instead of sending an email from your company that says, hi, here's our newsletter, it's, hi, Tamara, this is your newsletter for the week. And it's simple because with a lot of these marketing software platforms, they actually have those variables built in where you can just say, put customer's first name, and it'll have it there for you. And it does make a big difference. More people are, interested to click on it, or they think, oh, this is more personalized or personable. Let me click on it. So there's different things you can do, but it really depends on your business again. So be sure to review the results you're having and adjust accordingly. So now let's talk about staying compliant. So this is a very tricky subject, and it's something that if you are a business owner and you are going to use email marketing or any type of marketing, it is very important to know the rules and regulations within the area that you are located. I am not by any means a legal professional, and I don't really know a whole lot about compliancy in regards to different areas of the world, or within different types of email marketing softwares. We do have a team here that does look at those things. So I did some basic research just to show you what types of things are out there at the moment, and a general rule of thumb. So essentially, GDPR is something that is for the EU, and with Shoop, we actually have this built into our back end so that it's never forgotten. It must be done in order for the site or your marketplace to actually be launched and go live. And essentially, it's the General Data Protection Regulation within the European Union, and it was a law implemented about 3 years ago. And this requires organizations to safeguard personal data and uphold the privacy rights of anyone in EU territory. So in the EU, their laws are a lot stricter than in the US, but the US is following suit. So in California, there are strict laws around email marketing and marketing in general, of course. And there's actually something called a CAN-SPAM Act. So this is any electronic mail message, the primary purpose of which is the commercial advertisement or promotion of a commercial product or service. And so this actually includes more than just emails. I was reading about it, and it's also phone calls and things of that nature. And so there's a lot that goes into these, these laws and regulations, and they cover more than just email marketing. So it's definitely important to read up on the compliancy and legal regulations where you are located. Always do this, and if you're not sure, you should reach out to a legal professional. A general rule of thumb that I saw for a lot of these compliancies or websites or softwares that kind of list, hey, be sure to do these things. There's a lot of things that you have to do, but these were typically the 5 that stood out and were repetitive. So you want to get permission for the customer. Of course, a lot of these are shown as like, I accept terms and conditions. And then there's usually like, I would like to receive email marketing or marketing materials. And there's like a little page that they can read about it in. So it's not a very hard thing to implement on your marketplace or your website, but it will go a long way because it keeps you compliant, as well as shows the customer that you're not going behind their back and taking their information to then send out emails. You care about their opinion and wanting these materials. Of course, having opt-in and opt-out options. So again, that's basically what we were saying with getting permission. They tie in hand in hand. You want to be transparent with the email's intent. So sometimes your subject line or your header is more important than people would realize. If this is an advertisement, you are in most areas actually you're legally binded to disclose that to a customer that it is advertisement. So if it is a newsletter, you don't actually have to write newsletter in the subject header, but you can't write something that's going to be what is referred to as clickbait, or something that's not true or has nothing to do with the email. Like click here to get a free product, and you click on it and it's just marketing material. So you just want to be transparent with your email's intent, and just be honest. If you are staying true to your brand, and honesty and transparency and of course authenticity is a part of your brand, then this should not be something different or going elsewhere from where your business is. Of course, disclosing the business address was one of those things that was in pretty much every like compliancy article that I read. It's something really simple. It's also great because if a customer has an issue and they don't feel like they have a way to get a hold of you, if your number's not maybe provided, they have a business address that they can physically mail a letter to and have that paper trail for. I think it's always great to include your business address as well as your contact information as a business, because you want to open up that gateway of communication for your customer and for the business, because it will go two ways. And then, of course, honor and respect your customers. This is just, using common sense when creating these types of email marketing or regular marketing, of course, too, to say, okay, well, we understand that you're a customer. We value your, your patron page. Oh my gosh, we value you shopping with us and things of that nature. And so by showing that honor and respect to the customers, they will show it to you as well and return, hopefully. So staying compliant is very important. So content and branding is the second piece of this. And so these, relevant and important content we did touch base on, and being branded we did touch base on, but those two really do go hand in hand. So essentially, the process you'd want to follow with relevant and important content is deciding on the email type or campaign, and then using the email and the subject lines to get what you want to say in a concise way down. Using visuals is a great way to do this. And of course, you want to kind of always keep in mind that design does matter. An appealing email, once somebody opens it, is visually appealing, of course, is something that even if you just think about it in terms of yourself, when you open up an email, it's something that it probably will have you look through a little bit more, rather than it just being a bunch of words all clumped together and it's hard to read. And it just, at that point, most people will put it down. So those are like the really big points with relevant, important content. I think that, for an example, I think newsletters are great, but I also want to touch base on campaigns for promotions. A lot of major companies do have like semi-annual or annual sales that they will do. And so making sure that you know what sales you want to highlight in the email instead of highlighting every single sale is really important. And that will help you keep your email concise. Including in your subject line that it would be an annual or semi-annual sale would be great, because it would have the proper intent to it. And using visuals like big red letters or big bold letters, that gets people's attention. And then finally, design matters. So making sure that it's all consistent and it makes sense from a customer's point of view. If your email says semi-annual, annual sale coming up, and they open the email and it's informations or articles about your company, and then on the bottom is the sale, they may be turned off by this or confused by this or not really read on. So you want to make sure that the content is correctly listed as well, and that the design and formatting of that email makes sense. And of course, being branded and staying true to your brand. So we did talk about this. Sharing your brand message and identity is really a huge part of customer retention. And I think it's really important to note that you should only be sharing content that you believe in. If you share content or articles, let's say if you have a newsletter and you have articles attached to the newsletter, if you're not reading through the articles and you don't really know what they're about, or maybe they don't align with your core values of your business, it doesn't look great to a customer. A great example of this is, I know there's a lot of cosmetic lines that are cruelty-free with animals. And so if they're sending out newsletters and they promote an article on maybe a company that they didn't read the article maybe, but the company uses animals to test. I don't even think that's legal anymore, but let's say it was, they were using it, it would kind of discredit them as a company and their values, because they're sharing content that does not align with their values. So it's really, really important to remember that, and to always make sure the content that you're putting out is content that you believe in, that you are, that you think is aligned with your business and that makes sense. Including a meaningful call to action. That's something we did talk about a little bit in depth before. So it's just important to always have one of these, and it drives the traffic. It's telling a customer to do an action. That way you can drive the traffic to your site and hopefully build sales. And of course, throughout this whole, email marketing presentation or webinar, I should say, being transparent and honest is going to be a reoccurring theme. Again, you just want to think about it from your customer's point of view. If they feel that you are a honest company, they will return to shop with you. If they feel that, they're being cheated, or that their information is not safe, or that they couldn't get a hold of customer service, or, get their refund in time. Like, it really does upset a customer, and it's something that, with transparency and honesty, that could be avoided. If their refund is just delayed because of a company issue, being transparent and saying, hey, we are sorry about this, we are working on it, and staying in contact with them to let them know that we're looking at this issue and we are working on it. It goes a long way to be transparent, instead of leaving them to think that we just not we, the company itself would have just kind of left it be, and not, just has not been checking on it. So that transparency really does come into play. And within your emails, it should come into play as well. You should always stay, true to what you're putting out there as far as content goes. And so analyzing and adapting to your data, again, this is just something a lot of people do overlook. Email marketing software now, a lot of these brands, softwares have, branded features that you can actually put your logos and branding within the email, but they also have analytical features that will show you how many people are looking at your email, what the click-through rate is, which means like how many people open it and actually click on a link or something of that nature to bring you to the site. I've seen like A/B testing on some of these platforms, and honestly, it's a great tool to use email marketing software for analytics. But let's say that's something that you're not really ready for, your business isn't ready to go there. Although many of these marketing softwares are low cost, or some are free for certain versions, I do highly recommend you check out the article that we posted on this if you are new to email marketing and email marketing software. But most of those are free or low cost, so it is worth it in my opinion, and it will help you attract customers, and the return on the investment is basically for itself once like a few customers make some purchases. So essentially, I do recommend it, but if it's not something that you're ready for, observation and trends do go a long way. To look at your website and say, okay, well, we actually sold out of this product because we had a sale and we put out that campaign. You'll be able to know if you've been involved in your business long enough, and hopefully this is your business if you're watching. So if you see that in the past you haven't sent out any email marketing, and you have your sales and you do well, you do better than average on an average day, that's great. But once you put out that email marketing, if you're selling out of products and you see more traffic, you know that your email marketing is getting through to your customers. And so it's really helpful to just know the different parts of your business, as far as different trends that may be going on, and when emails are sent out versus when sales are, or when different campaigns are going on, or if you had something interesting in your newsletter, let's say, that drove people to your site. So there are two ways to do that. One is more traditional than the other, and it is really up to you how you would like to do this. But I really do recommend email marketing software is something, it makes it a lot easier to do things like analyzing your business from a marketing standpoint. And then, of course, once you know the things that are working and that aren't working, you have to adapt. You have to actually make those changes in order to see results, right? And so you want to think of the little changes that are going to make the biggest impact. And so I said it one before with the variable. That was something that we saw from ourselves, that it would make a really large impact to just have the customer's name attached. And so when I've seen that in different articles, and we ourselves have always done that as a company, but it does make a big impact. We had an increase when we first did this a while back, actually. We actually had a pretty large percentage increase in people opening our emails. And so it's just the little things that we can change, just literally seconds to change, that we were able to increase our percentage by a larger amount than we expected. And of course, you want to be open to change and experimentation. So if you get to a part where you're plateauing, where you have a really great customer base and you're sending out email marketing and you're having about the same amount of click rate and click-through percentage rates, and you see that your customers aren't unsubscribing, but you're not really getting any new customers, it may be time to look at your emails and your strategy and your marketing strategy and say, okay, well, what can I do? What can I experiment with? What can I change that may increase our traffic? And of course, then implementing those things and seeing if those things are changing. And if something is working, then make it a permanent change. So for example, something that we've recently done at Shoop is we changed our email marketing template. And so the way it was before was very linear, and it was one item over another item over another item. And we recently had switched over to a column-based newsletter. So there's 3 articles directly next to each other. And we found that this, we didn't know if this would really help us. We didn't know if it was going to make a huge difference, but it took little effort on our end. And we thought, maybe for a customer, they want to see multiple things at once. They can just be like, okay, I want to read it, or okay, like I'm over this newsletter. And so we tried it out for about a month, and we were seeing consistently trending upwards with our subscription for our newsletter, as well as our click-through rates. And so we found that this was a great thing to change, and we actually went back and looked at all of our email templates and changed them to fit that type of ideology or template format. So it was a really great thing that we've done, and it was because we were open to that change and doing the experimentation and taking that risk of it. So I do highly recommend analyzing and adapting. They go hand in hand. So make sure that we are doing those things with email marketing. And as far as everything else goes, I think that we've hit pretty much the 5 main points. If there are any questions, I can take those questions now. If there are any questions that you don't know of, or that you may think of as you're going on in your email marketing platform, or email marketing change to your platform, you're more than welcome to reach out to contact@shoop.com. It's something that, email marketing really does go a long way. And if it's done well and correct, it could really attract traffic to your website and your marketplace. And just by getting that traffic there, you should believe in your business enough to be able to sell the product, that your marketplace will then be enticing enough to a customer to say, ooh, I like that product. I want to buy it. I like this website. I like this brand. I want to buy, the products in the brand. So I will, let's see here. We do have one question. Okay, so the question is, what is your favorite email marketing software? That is a great question. So I've only worked with 3. I've worked with Salesforce, I've worked with HubSpot, and I've worked with MailChimp. I think MailChimp is really great for a starting business. I think that it is a low-cost email marketing software that is easy to use. It's simply dragging and dropping things, and you're really able to customize it and use a template that makes sense for you. And it's very easy to learn. So if you don't have a lot of experience in email marketing, or you don't have the time to follow up on some of the, learn some new things about email marketing, it's a great resource. And I think it's really important for every business to have some type of email marketing software. So I would say MailChimp is a go-to. And with Shoop too, I don't know if anybody on the webinar watching after is a Shoop client, but with Shoop, MailChimp is an integration that we offer out of the box. And essentially, it's really easy to use for clients and connects their customers who sign up on their marketplace to actually transfer into MailChimp so you can send out those emails. I've also used HubSpot, and HubSpot's really great as well. It's a little bit more confusing, so if you don't have a lot of experience in email marketing, I would say definitely work your way up, maybe play with MailChimp or read up on HubSpot materials. And they have really great resources, actually, HubSpot, on email marketing. And so you're able to kind of look through all those things. And if you have the time to learn HubSpot, then it's a great platform for sure. And Salesforce is something I've newly tried out. I do like it. I like it for 2 reasons. I think it is a next level. I think it's for somebody with a little bit more of experience. I also think it's really great if you know exactly what you want to do, because they actually give you like a coding option. And a lot of it is actually, you do have to have some type of coding understanding to play with it a little bit. But with coding, it literally opens up every possibility for you. There's basically no limitations if you can code what you want. So it's definitely a great platform for that. And they do have a ton of resources as well, but it's something that I think you need to have a little bit more experience with before just jumping into it, or else you may be turned off from email marketing. Okay, I don't think we have any other questions today, but if anything does arise, just let us know, and I myself will either answer or somebody at our Shoop team will answer. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you again real soon. Please check back on our website for our newest webcast summary and this video, of course, of the webcast. It'll be posted tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everybody.